Now, Jeffrey, when we spoke to you in Davos last year, you talked about your interest in buying assets maybe in Southeast Asia, in Africa. Are those two still the priority for your M&A plans?
Yeah, basically, when we are expanding, obviously the first stop is Southeast Asia. Yes, we are in the plan. So, we have already built a plant in Indonesia. We are working on a M&A project as well. We launched an M&A in Australia. Basically, that business also have a part in Southeast Asia. We bought Bellamy. We launched a deal with Lion Dairy. And Lion Dairy also have a quite big business in Southeast Asia. So that's part of our strategy to having a branded business into the Southeast Asia.
Are you looking for more assets in the next 12, 24 months?
Well, I wouldn't say, it's a must, but if there's good opportunity over there, obviously we will look into.
You talked about the Australian market, the regulators, of course, clamping down, looking at anti-competition laws. I mean, how is that impacting Mengniu?
I think Lion Dairy is actually an Australia-based business. Majority of the business in Australia. It has all the supply chain in Australia. It works with farms and also have about like 13 different plants in different regions. It has almost close to 3,000 of employees. So it's quite a significant business, I would say, in if you take the size of Australia. So obviously, to look at from an anti-competition perspective, it's their job. They have to look at that. But from our side, there's not any barrier for not doing that or not approving that, because on one side we do bring good opportunity to the Australian market.
Do you see challenges in managing a relationship with the local companies as well as the regulator?
Not really, because if you look at the past, we bought a company called Bara, 3 years ago. We managed very well the company. It was run totally, almost 100% by the local employee. And at the same time, we create a very good ecosystem with farmers, with stakeholders in Australia. So we create a good reputation to bring business opportunity, to work with community in a more sustainable way. So we have a level of credibility that has been built in the Australian market.
I want to touch on the demand for milk in China. The Chinese prefer foreign milk. What's the outlook for demand for milk going forward, do you think? I mean, give us some sense of 2020, 2021.
Now, if you look at the consumption, taking Mengniu, for example, 95% of our milk and consumption is local. So we supply consumer the milk that's from local with a very high quality system in place. So we gain trust over the last few years that consumer continue to trust our product and buying our product. But obviously it's not enough because we are short of in total milk supply as a country. So we have to import milk or milk ingredients into this country. Then also at the same time, consumers in some of the big cities, they do have a lot of exposure to the global market, right, and different countries. So there is a preference on some imported product for sure, and this is also part of our business when we are building up our overseas, supply chain and overseas brands. So as a combination, you will see this is only a small part. A majority part is still supplied locally with the local milk. So if you look at the quality of the local milk and the imported milk, they are more or less the same. And even some of our local produced milk, like organic, and even of higher quality, So I feel if you look at the last few years, we have really significantly bring up the quality system and also the quality of the product.
Yili is a competitor.
Yeah.
What's the strategy as you compete?
Well, I wouldn't say that we watch our competitor, but also at the same time, we watch at what we want to do moving into future. we are very clear about the strategy on what type of nutrition we want to bring to our consumer, in which market, and what is really our key competency. We want to invest more in R&D, in technology, in building also sustainability. For example, the supply chain of dairy is very long. So we have to work all the way from even growing seeds, working with farmers, with our manufacturing, logistic, all the way to retailing. Today we are able to bring digital technology into the entire supply chain. So we are having now digital farm, digital factory, smart logistics. So if you look at the overall perspective, we really want to have more technology driven to be able to solve a lot of issues related to sustainability and also maybe quality as well. Because I think only the technology, digital platform, and also innovation be able to solve all these issues.
Jeffrey, I want to get your perspective on the China virus. I mean, market slumped today because of great concern. I mean, what's your own take on it?
Well, interestingly, if you look at our growth rate, so I would say I will be much more optimistic. If you look at 2016, we grow like close to 10. We grow 12% in 2017. We grow almost 14% in 2018, and we grow about 15% for 2019. So if you look at the local consumption for product like nutrition product, it's still very strong. The local consumption has been always strong on the basic nutrition, but also on a premiumized nutrition. So on this side, I'm optimistic. On the other side, yes, there are also good challenges, because if you look at the market today, you have also slowing down in material, slow down in production in milk. At the same time, probably the inflation has been high.
How concerned are you about the China virus outbreak? How closely are you watching it?
Now, this morning I was sending a message to my HR director to say let's take a serious watch on that, because for example, in province like Wuhan, we do have a big factory, right? So we need to have a close watch out. But I think the Chinese government are taking serious measures now, and very quick. And you should be very confident on our government. When we start to realizing there's an issue, we need to take measures. The measures we are able to really put in place will be fast and efficient. So I'm quite confident that this is a challenge, but we have been aware, we put measures, and we are confident that all those measures will be taking place and have an effective